We'll see what he wants.
Hiding for NGX, going back for the Void Spirit, Mike, we always talked about Alacrity playing the Void Spirit, right? Like, all the way back in Pro Series 8. He almost always plays Void Spirit. Like, even if they get this Bat Rider pick early on, they flex it out to Mizu, and he still takes Void Spirit, no matter what. Which is always funny, because the one time we see Alacrity struggle with his Void Spirit is up against a Bat Rider mid. And that's an option here if Yopaj wants it. Instead, they'll go for the TA. So we bring out the Yopaj special from some time back. We don't get to see this one too often nowadays, but it is something he excels at. And that should mean that Boom are shifting their win condition towards that TA on the mid. Match up against the Void Spirit's not too bad for both sides. Void Spirit doesn't have a good way of melting through refraction. So once levels are up there, the TA is going to be relatively tanky, hard to burst down there, even if you land your Remnant. Of course, you can kind of block off some of the damage with a Resonant Pulse, but once the Psyblades are leveled up enough, it's not going to be a major factor for Yopaj. So a decent back and forth should favor the TA down the line, just in farm efficiency. And I love this Dark Willow pickup from Boom as well. So you've got the Arena combination with the Terrorize, so you can kind of just fear people out to the edge of Arena. You've got the Bramble Maze as well to kind of lock people in. NGX do go for the Life Stealer, so they don't need to worry too much about the control coming out from Mars, and the lane matchup for the Life Stealer kind of works out. Once you kind of see the commitment from the God's Rebuke and the Spear, if you manage to dodge it out, you can just trade hits. And with the usual passive build we see from the Life Stealer, you can kind of overwhelm a Mars. So I like that from NGX. They don't need to worry about the Arena too much. They've got a decent vehicle in the Void Spirit for Infest, and that should be a very stable win condition now for In Your Dream here.
Yeah, absolutely. Get a little bit concerned for NGX though. Like, you can already kind of guess what Boom Esports is going to be doing, and we had a bit of a glimpse of it yesterday. I'm very afraid for that mid-tier 1 tower here for NGX at the moment. I'm kind of curious as to whether they're going to be able to defend it. I believe yesterday we did see them, with this Enchantress pickup, just kind of rush the mid-tier 1 around the 5-minute mark when that Siege Creep does spawn up. With the Enchantress, it is something you can just get done very, very easily. And if you get that mid-tier 1 that early on, it's very problematic, especially when you've got a TA on the opponent's team, because you could just go invade their jungle instead. Just take their camps, take their farm, and can make it very hard for a hero like Lifestealer that doesn't flash farm very effectively. Very curious to see what NGX do to kind of resolve that, and whether that is what Boom Esports intends to do. But I dare say if they found the opening to go for a very early mid-tier 1 with a TA Enchantress, they will go for it.
Yeah, just gives you so much, and kind of goes with how Boom likes to play the game. They like to shut down the map early, as you pointed out, Mike, choke out the enemy team, build up on Yopaj with all the space he gets from having additional map to play with, and run from there. I'm keen to see that Boom are really protecting their TA pick, though. They ban out the Bat Rider, they ban out the Viper. There's some flex here for Boom, Mike. They could run the TA safe lane for CTM, give Yopaj something else, but I don't think they're going to look for that. If it is the Void Spirit mid, the TA matchup is, again, very manageable for a TA. It's not too bad. No threat of melting down the refraction. In fact, none of the heroes really melt refraction besides the Snapfire to an extent, and Boom do take the Razor. So they've got the Razor versus Lifestealer matchup. You have a really good target to just static link, steal some damage away from, and it plays into that really quick pace you talked about, Mike. They can group up, look for a tower push early with a very early level spikes all these heroes have, and just shut down the map fast. CTM doesn't need to farm too much in the Razor. You can shift that focus onto Yopaj with the TA. So it's that active pause 1 that buys space for the pause 2, and then that kind of just plays into your timings here. Boom has very good farm balance across all their cores, and they can just kind of play fast with 4, buy space for Yopaj to hit his Dragonlance, Desolator, or Dragonlance Blink timing, and then from there just take over the map.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very scary draft here for NGX to have to deal with. That Razor pickup, it's going to be a big problem. I mean, there's no real way to deal with it right now. Sure, you could try to burst it down with all the... You do have some burst damage, but if CTM goes for an early BKB, it just feels like you're kind of screwed as NGX. Let's see what they go for with this last pickup. They are still requiring an off lane as far as I can tell. I mean, it's got to be lane dominant against the Razor. It's not going to be a fun lane whatsoever here. Mizu, and he does have that Brewmaster, but into a Razor, not very fun. He'll go for the Prophet instead. So I think the idea for NGX is they understand how aggressive Boom Esports is going to be. You delay the game by constant split push with this Nature's Prophet and the Void Spirit, and that way you just allow in your Dream to farm up and drag it out to the later stage of the game, where your Page theoretically should not be able to scale as well as an NP Void Spirit and Lifestealer in the same breath. But it's easier said than done, John. I mean, it's still a very difficult draft here to go against with Boom Esports. You tell me, who has the better draft?
I do like the NP last pick for NGX. I think Mizu will be able to apply his own aggression while Boom plays 4, but I think in the end, the earlier spikes of Boom are still a lot stronger. Like the Mars is going to be online fairly quick, the Razor most definitely will be. Maybe just after Falcon Blade, he's going to be ready to run around. Falcon Blade SNY should be the build-up, and you can just kind of take control from there. For NGX, I think the item spikes are just a bit too delayed. Even the Nature's Prophet, you can play fast with an early, say, Orchid and Witchblade build, as we tend to see, but it is still going to soak some initial farm. Same with Void Spirit, same with Lifestealer. All of these heroes need some items to get running, whereas for Razor, for Mars, you only really need EXP, and I think that's enough for Boom to get the early advantage, shut down the map, and just make it hard for those 3 cores to scale up.
Okay, well with that, we are going to head into game number 1 between Boom Esports and NGX. Of course, NGX quite desperate to get these final victories if they can, to try and secure their upper bracket position in the playoffs, which start in 2 days, including today. We've only got today and tomorrow left of the group stages, and they've got 2 more series left. Now, Boom Esports, we've already kind of confirmed that they're going to be upper bracket, though again, it's not 100%, but, you know, as long as they win like 1 single game, they should be okay. But Boom, they won't be going easy. NGX, definitely a hard game 1 for them. See how they deal with it, though, as they have smoked up as 5, but Boom Esports are going to meet them in the middle. Already expecting the ward placement. There it is from In Your Dream, but the problem is the smoke does not break. They don't 100% know. The CTM's asking the real questions right now. CTM's probably very jealous that someone else is playing Nature's Prophet instead of him. See how this this off lane gets dealt with here from CTM.
You know, there's some lineup theory crafting from Mizu right there. He was already saying, "Abbing out CTM pos 5." Oh, Mizu.
Everyone's picking on a Bing. Everybody. What was it, yesterday? Who was it that was just really giving it to us?
Next month, CTM's pub name will be just pos 5. He's going to be practicing, they say. So even Paulson joining in the ribbing. CTM, all you can do is kind of laugh along.
Absolutely. It'll be a 2-for-2 bounty rune trade. Pretty even start between these 2 teams. Nothing to write home about. Always will start at this top lane while we... Oh, I thought the boundary was taken for some reason, but it's not. FBZ does take the second. So top lane, we do have FBZ on that off lane Mars. And for now, you do have both Tims and a Bing hovering around this mid lane. What are they up to? It seems like they're going to try something very early on. They are going to find Paulson. So Paulson could be in a spot of danger now as he gets chased down here by a Bing and Tims. Enchant is out. They've got the Bramble Maze as well, but the cookie is there from Paulson, but he gets rooted twice. Very nice placement there from Tims. That'll be first blood straight off the bat for Boom Esports.
Yeah, great start. I love that position coming out from them. They know the supports are going to be walking around. We tend to see that from NGX early on, kind of trying to secure some early wards, and they get punished. So a great start already for the side of Boom. Support's going to have just a little bit more EXP to play with. We will see the lane split up. Tim's up top on that Arc Willow with FBZ on his signature Mars up against In Your Dream on the Lifestealer and Paulson on the Snap. There is some aggression for both sides here. I think for In Your Dream, it does take a little bit more levels for the Lifestealer to really trade with Mars. And you don't tend to want to get early Rage, right? Like you tend to see Rage come in by 3, maybe by 4 or 5. You want to stall that out as long as possible. You want your actives, your passives to be up, the trade hits. So it's going to be a bit slower by nature of Lifestealer, but if you can gap close, look for good cookie angles, the Mars doesn't really trade hits too well with the Lifestealer. Like right-click hits are not favored for Mars because of those passives on the Lifestealer, and that is something NGX can look for, but it is a much slower lane. It's going to take some levels to get that done.
Yeah, bot lane is proving to be very difficult here for NGX, John. It's kind of a mirror of the top lane where Mizu and Jokam, they can't really get close to a creep wave. I mean, Enchantress and Razor in the same lane is just absolutely disgusting to have to try and play into, even as a Nature's Prophet, who's famous for being able to deny 1 billion creeps away from you. But as soon as he gets close, you get the enchant into that static remnant. It's a very painful experience here for Mizu and JoeCam.
Yeah, it's a slower lane for NGX as well. Like, Mizu, I mean, he's trying to leverage those treants up, but you have to watch for the wave clear coming out from XctN. You kind of have to watch for the steal away as well with the enchant from Abe. And there is some value in just taking one treant and being disruptive in the lane. You can kind of juggle lane, the lane shoving into your favor with just one treant. So that is something that you can achieve with the ench. And you can't really bully out a Razor. Like, you do have some good stuns coming out with Lion NP. You don't tend to go for early Sprout, and Mizu does skip it, opting for the teleportation to get in and out in case. But that does mean you're not getting too aggressive, and the Razor's just going to win out, constantly getting up to CS. Up there right now, 11-5, our NP lagging a bit behind. That should mean XctN, he's already got the Falcon Blade flying out, so he's going to be very secure in this lane.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to say, John, I'm a big fan. In fact, hold that thought, because FBC's in trouble top lane. It looks like he may drop here to In Your Dream. Nice spear away. That's going to force Polison to take the kill. So you would have rather the Lifestealer get it, but at the very least, they do get the kill onto FBC, as now Tim's is trying to get very aggressive, but will not be able to secure the kill back onto Polison. Back to the point I was trying to make, John, I'm a big fan of the way a Beng does play this Enchantress. Just feels like he's constantly in the enemy triangle, taking the bounty runes, but as well as that, making sure they are unable to get any stacks going as mid lane. Hold that thought again, because you're Page now. Very low in terms of HP. Alacrity getting very aggressive early on. In fact, might go for a kill now with that Aether Remnant. If he can land it, he'll try, but no, the creep wave. He's going to be able to block it off, and now the side blades, Alacrity. He's going to Fairy Fire up preemptively. John, talk to me about this mid lane. What's going on?
It is a little bit more back and forth, but overall, I think the TA does have the edge. You've got Refraction up to level 2 now. It's going to take 4 instances of damage. A Void Spirit can't really do that much damage in a very short time period. So you're still very secure here as the TA. You hit level 5, level 3 Refraction up, and this is the point where the TA just kind of takes over. You can easily harass back. With the Side Blades, Alacrity kind of has to go in for the Resonant Pulse, and it just takes a lot more resources for the Void Spirit.
Fantastic job of denying so many creeps away and making this laning stage just very difficult here for the Lifestealer. Just not great news if you are an NGX fan.
Yeah, it's just down to the nature of Lifestealer. If you don't actually get the aggression coming out from your snap, you don't really want to go up and right-click a Mars, because he has a lot of spells. You do not have Rage in the laning phase for the most part. You're not going to be able to dodge out the control and the damage FBC has. Even though on paper you can trade right-clicks, you don't get the opportunity to do so. So FBC is just using these early level spikes quite well in the matchup. Already level 5. Once he hits 6, you're going to have some kill potential. Maybe the Lifestealer is going to have Rage at that point, but you can line up for an easy Snapfire kill if you want to, and it's not going to take too long for FBC to hit that point.
Yeah, I mean, In Your Dream, he's been holding on to a skill point just in case he needs the Rage, so he's always got it available as bot lane again. JoeCam and Mizu just unable to get even close to the creep wave as a Beng just continues to pursue them every chance he gets. And look at this, Sean. Perfect timing. He comes back for the bounty. He wants the creep as well. And Alacrity's farm on the Void Spirit, and in turn allow your Page to gain an even bigger lead against that mid laner.
Yeah, he's already building up. He's even got superior rune control. Using the traps for vision, of course, to spot out where the rune spawns, has a DD bottled up. He's going to be able to really apply some pressure. NGX don't have the most active supports. They could try now, though.
He's going to try and back off and barely makes it. Luckily for him, XctN was just out of range for the plasma field. Otherwise, that would have been a guaranteed death. But Mizu, I mean, 26-4, considering the circumstances, he's not doing too badly in terms of CS. I mean, you can't expect much more from him, but of course, boom, they're going to start pressuring that bot tier 1 tower now, understanding how strong they are, but Alacrity, he's going to rotate down onto the Razor. Can they get this kill? He's got the static link available. Eventually, will be forced to pop it, but Alacrity, he's got plenty of damage. The rotation does pay off here for Enigma Galaxy C. Problem is, you make that rotation, but the TA is freely pushing that mid-tier 1 tower. In fact, JoeCam, he's feeling quite charitable right now, John. He'll give another kill away to the side of Boom Esports. Your Page, he'll be the one to take it.
Yeah, I can't fault Alacrity for making that rotation. He knows it's going to be hard to hold the lane against a TA at this point. Power Shred's up, Lightstone already amping up that early damage. And that tier 1 mid, it's already down to less than half HP, so it's going to be really easy to rip through your Paj, though.
Yeah, but here comes the Bang. This is when you really start finishing off that tier 1 tower. Now, you can't really do anything as NGX anymore unless you rotate more heroes. They'll bring one more,
recovering a certain
but eventually that tier 1's just as good as gone now.
Yeah. And it plays into that timing you were talking about from Draft Point. This is something Boom loves to do. They want to take the early mid-tier 1. They want to force rotations out to free up their side lanes, get more space for their other cores. Paulson.
Getting caught out, he'll throw the heal out, but Alacrity should eventually have enough damage, I believe. He's going to keep trying. Bang's put the hand up and they'll give a high five. Bang. That'll be it. They just can't kill him. Even without that untouchable. With the heal up, Bang is just too tanky right now.
They give a freebie out to Yopaj. He keeps building up on that. TA hasn't even gone out to clear stacks. Alacrity.
Yeah, they're going in. They're going to try. Yopaj going to try and back off. As now Tims will go in with the Brambles, but a great cookie out. Paulson is going to set up onto Yopaj, but now FBZ showed up. Arena and Spear is out, so Paulson's going right back to the fountain. In the meantime, though, Alacrity still trying onto Tims. The Resonant Pulse, but it's not going to be enough. Yeah, you got your Paj. Problem is, though, they got the tier 1 mid tower. I'd still say that's a win for Boom.
It's a massive win for Boom. Not only do they take that mid tier 1, but they've got these great stacks in the triangle. So without the tier 1 to TP2, they can't contest the triangle stacks. Yopaj has some great catch-up form for himself now to rush into the Blink, into the Desolator. And there's no information from NGX to scout that out. They're forced to play on their side of the river, keep trying to build up. FBZ, you know, he's level 7 in your dreams, still been lagging behind on that life stealer, 38-3 in CS. Even on Bang's level 6 with In Your Dream at 6.
Wow.
And he can't even trade with the Enchantress anymore with that untouchable up. You can't even harass her out. So In Your Dream's gonna have to look for some space elsewhere, might have to play in the jungle early, but Boom already have some good wards to spot that movement out.
Yeah, absolutely. They are going to smoke up, though. I think they've read that they need to get something done now in GX. Definitely tough times already. They've got to try and make up for the laning stage by killing off Yopaj again if they can catch him. And Yopaj, he is out of, well, not out of position, but he's going to get caught out here as the 8th Remnant does connect. Can they help him out in time? Dissimulate is there as well. Yopaj, he cannot survive. Nice smoke rotation out from NGX now, but can they get themselves out? CTM and FBZ moving forward. Arena is now available. They'll throw it out and catch 3 with it. Static Remnant is, or rather Static Link is there from CTM. Plasma Field out. CTM though, he's dropping low himself and will go down as Mizu will finally drop and they might get Jokam. But it's a great team fight now for NGX. They at least get everyone else out of there. And they found 2 massive cores for their trouble.
It's a good snipe run coming out from NGX. We were just talking about triangle stacks being uncontested, so they managed to force some pressure out. While doing so, also gives some space out to In Your Dream to play bot. So that movement just gives them everything they want. They find kills. Unfortunately, they don't really contest the stacks. They stop them from being farmed up and get the hero. But there is still some farm left for Yopaj, and he is still inching towards that blink timing. Once that blink is up on RTA, it's going to be much harder to make that same move out, especially if Yopaj manages to react in time to get the refraction off. The TA is going to be almost unkillable. You're going to have to commit your Hex immediately from Jokam, and that is easier said than done. Still, bot tier 1 faults, but they are looking for top.
They are going to try finger out as well. FBZ dropping low, but not quite low enough. They get Jokam down, and FBZ, he's going to make it as now Alacrity has been caught out with his pants down. He's gone. Great positioning from a Bang, John. He read the movement. He just hid in that tree line, waiting for that right moment, and eventually saves the life of FBZ.
Yeah. They don't lose their Mars, they kill off that Void Spirit, which has been really pesky from NGX, and now they can line up for that top tier 1 push. So even though they lost their bot tier 1, they're going to equalize, they still have the advantage for the mid. CTM has to be a bit careful bot though, they are kind of wrapping around him.
That's the target you want to see go down if you are in GX. CTM, not many ways of defending himself if they make the jump in, but a Bang, oh, it's another great movement though. When you TP into the enemy, sure, but you've scouted out where they are, and now CTM's going to join in. Onto Mizu they go, they'll force the TP rotation out. CTM now, can he get himself out? Not quite. In fact, now a Bang's just dead. And I mean, I was saying it was a nice play from a Bang to actually scout out the enemy and save CTM's life. Problem is they try to force a fight.
Yeah, they get punished. The kisses fly through. The magic damage was enough to handle the Enchantress this time. They even drag in Alacrity with his mobility to kind of soak some kills for himself. So some comeback gold coming out from NGX, but not enough to turn the tides here. Even if you kill the Razor, I don't think that's the major issue NGX has to watch out for. They still need to keep a track on Yopaj, and he's still playing in the triangle, has his blink up, halfway through to his Desolator timing. Once that's up, NGX has to keep a very close eye on the Roshan next, but that's going to be the big play.
Arena down, Terrorize, not going to connect. They were trying for that Terrorize Arena combo. It may not matter as JoeCam should still go down here to Tims, and now Paulison. Well, he's going to keep trying to fight, but he's all by himself at the moment. Tims, he'll just keep going for this. Brambles, though, will not land, so Paulison now will try to turn with the cookie out. He will cancel the TP, and they'll have enough damage for Tims. As Paulison survives on 40 HP and walks himself out.
Great plays coming out from Paulson, just kind of baiting in Tims to go for that kill. It does take a lot of rotations up top to get that kill, but you'll take what you can get. The Nature's Prophet still has the TP scroll available, and of course, again, while you're getting that movement out, you are buying space for the Lifestealer to keep building up. Issue is, even though In Your Dream has all the space, he's still barely ahead of her Razor, who's died multiple times now. XctN's been frontlining, he's been the main ganking target, he's 3 to 4 with 2 assists, and In Your Dream's only about 100 gold ahead. It's just down to the Lifestealer not being able to flash farm as fast. It's going to be important for In Your Dream to hit some early item spikes. Sanj into Scotty is really what you want to see, but by then, this TA might be a bit too fat. Only one Metral Hammer away from Desolator. Physical output's going to be over the roof once that's up. And NGX realizes they just smoke up, keep playing aggressive, keep looking for those pickoffs here.
They absolutely have to. XctN going to show himself down a bot lane. This could be very poor timing here for Boom Esports. As In Your Dream, he's going to reveal it now by just going for the fight. Alacrity jumps in, and that'll be a great pickoff. A bang, he should be a freebie. Alacrity should be able to close the gap, and In Your Dream, he's there anyway. Onto that Enchantress, slowing him down more than enough. It'll take a bit of time, but in the end, he will die. The finger does come out from JoeCam. XctN, he desperately needs that BKB up to be able to take these kind of fights. See, he opted to go for the Mask of Madness first, but unless you're farming, it's not really paying off for him.
It really isn't. And I think NGX are doing a good job of keeping down that Razor, but it just feels like you're trading Razor farm for the TA farm, and Boom will always take that trade. Yopaj is the actual win condition. Yopaj is getting bigger and bigger. He doesn't mind that he's losing his Razor, and I don't think XctN minds at all, because eventually he will get that BKB, and that's all you need in the Razor to be effective.
JoeCam going to get caught out. Top lane FBZ with a nice quick spear back. Looks like Mizu was trying to come in and help out, but again, there's not really too much he could have done. Only really has the Rod of Atos to play with on that Prophet. So all things being said and done, John, only a 3k net worth advantage right now to Boom. And I dare say, although Yopaj is still having a very nice time, Boom hasn't necessarily hit the timing they were looking for quite yet.
Not quite yet. You have a lot of room to grow on the Razor, but Yopaj is starting on that Roche. It's that Desolator timing. NGX don't have wards around the area. We do have Treants to scout out, but I'm not sure if they have enough time to react to this.
Well, definitely not. Aegis should go the way of the TA now, as he does get quickly bashed up by Roshan, but ends up taking it. Meantime, the rest of the Boom just making sure all the other lanes are pushed out to ensure safety within that Roshan pit. And now pings are coming up towards that top lane where Mizu may get caught. FBZ, oh, the Sprout's going to reveal him. Arena? No, he never drops it. In the meantime, Paulson ends up killing off Tim in the mid lane. And FBZ, surprisingly, does not go for the Arena at the tree line.
Yeah, kind of holds off. I think they realize it's only one hero. They're going to need it for this bigger fight on the tier 2, but they'll play it safe. They back off, seeing commitment from NGX. We're going to hold off on a Roche fight and maybe just hook around mid. They don't really have any more objectives to play for beyond the bot tier 1 outside of the tier 2s. So perhaps just taking over the jungle farm, again, denying more away from you and just be the safety net they need.
JoeCam's going to drop here mid lane. 14 to 12, still a very close game between these two teams. Your Dream still able to just keep his farm up, has the Sanj on the way very soon. Meantime, top lane, Yopaj, he's still pushing out that tier 2 tower, but now Mizu, he does finally get caught out. They will drop the arena this time, just in case. We're sure he cannot juke them in those tree lines. Is that tier 2? It's going to go down very fast, and of course now you just go right for that outpost in that dire jungle. And in the meantime, the rest of Boom, they'll have a look around for more targets. Alacrity is going to be able to actually grab Tims. They will take him down, so a nice start to this fight, but now XctN's going to rotate. In Your Dream, looks like he does want to try and force a fight. Rages out, fingers there, and XctN once again is going to die. Yopaj, he does not get the kill either. Infest was there just before the Meld Strike connected. So In Your Dream is just fine to get himself out with Alacrity. And XctN, just no BKB, he just can't fight right now.
He really has no presence on that Razor right now. They catch out Chokan, so they're going to be able to find a nice support kill, but not the kill they want. They've been finding a lot of the line. It is kind of pulling him back from the blink timing, but they're not slowing down the pacing of Alacrity, who's going to have his Ags at a really decent point, considering his slower start. And once you have that AoE silence on the Void Spirit, engagements become a lot easier for NGX. The BKBs become that much more important, and both Yopaj and XctN are still looking to farm that off.
Alacrity double damage rune activated, we'll just jump right into a bang. Easy pick off there for the Void Spirit as now Boom probably won't want to force anything without that Enchantress up. Well, you've still got 2 minutes on the Aegis. I think they want to get something else done before this Aegis does expire, but again, it does feel like you're forcing team fights without BKBs available, and it's just costing Boom too much right now. They may just decide to sit back with this Aegis and just finish off these BKBs first before they go any further.
Yeah, they need those BKBs. The spell immunity is going to be so important. There's so much hold from NGX that even with a refraction up in Yopaj, he just melts. It's not like he's going to live through when he's hexed and earth spiked up. So they need a way to frontline, and the two cores can't do it. Maybe FBZ can take control in these fights, jump in, drop the arena, but it's also not very secure. You've got ways of jumping out, you're dealing with a Lifestealer and Void Spirit who don't necessarily care for that arena as well.
You dream he's going to be just fine. Rages off the Cursed Crown and walks away. Alacrity will be chased down by a Bang. In fact, Paulson might be targeted, but it is just the Enchantress. Bang just being very annoying at the moment, trying to tilt his enemies. Well, never mind, FBZ's going to jump in. They'll try to get the Snapfire down. They won't have the damage though, and now they're in danger. Mortimer's kisses to fly in. FBZ's stuck. He'll try to do something, but there's nothing he can do as now a Bang has been caught. They at least get Paulson in the end, but is it going to matter? Probably not. XctN, he has joined in. He wants to try and get a bit more here. Joe Camp's going to go down. Tims, can he catch anyone else? Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. So 2 supports for an off lane. I suppose in the end it wasn't too bad overall for either side.
It's slightly better for Boom, although they'd still lose a core for the 2 support pickoffs. But we're seeing some really good plays coming out from NGX. I think Mizu, he went for that early Atos. He has the full Gleipnir up. So they do have really good counterplay, really great AoE control, combining that with Alliance control. That makes it really tough to engage, although Mizu now.
Yeah, he's got the Gleipnir up, but the Yule Scepter is there from Tims to hold him down. Still the TP away. No, the Terrorize. It's going to be more than enough to make sure he can knock it out of this. So Mizu is also going to go down as mid lane. They might try to force a fight. No, In Your Dream, he just wants to retreat. To force too much, but it seems like they've got the enchant once again onto Paulson. They can jump in with the spear out. They'll blow him up immediately as the Infest is now expended here as In Your Dream is going to try and go after the TA. Will force the BKB charge out, and now Alacrity, oh, very close to dying, has no more step charges. That's a massive win now for Boom.
Yeah, a really great kill. Maybe not the most flashy use of the BKB from Yopaj, but it did allow him to turn, get the damage off, to melt through the Void Spirit. And that was their main killing hero on NGX. Alacrity was building up the streak. He drops a pretty decent amount of gold towards FBZ to build up. And now Boom hit their second BKB spike with XctN. So the Razor can frontline, he can just walk up, static link up, use the Eye of the Storm and the Plasma Field and just pop BKB and Massive Madness and be completely safe. NGX, they're going to have to watch out. They can try to fight through the BKBs, but it's going to be a tough one, and you don't want any Dream isolated.
First crown. Your Dream, he'll get the rage off and be fine to just TP up. No problems there for the Lifestealer. Still smoke up. They do want to get aggressive. A counter smoke from NGX, but they are without their carry right now, so this could be very poor timing. Boom. Gleipnir is there. One of his kisses, a great Earth Spike. Chokam, he's going to lock him down. FBC's already gone. Yopaj, he's going to try, but he can't fight this. He needs to run, or maybe not. With the BKB up, he's going to try again. Onto Alacrity. They have the damage output. Pollison's gone to boot, and now they can really go for the cleanup. As there goes Chokam on the Lion. It looks so good to start, but it's going to end in such a disparity between these two teams, as Mizu, he will be the final piece of the puzzle. He's gone. XctN will take that one. What a great start to the fight, but Yopaj, he just so confident with the BKB and even the heals out from a bang, just proving to be more than enough.
Yeah, the sustain coming through from that Ench is just so darn good. Maxed out Nature's attendance already. Yopaj just needs to stick right next to him. When the BKBs pop, they know they can't fight. If they lose control, they lose burst damage to deal with TA, and Yopaj just turns confident in his capability to stand front. XctN with BKB as well, he's just allowed to do what he wants. And NGX, they had a really good jump in. Gleipnir into the Earth Spike was great, but they were cut off by the arena. It allowed Yopaj to run out while they were all blocked in the arena, and I think they overcommitted. You kind of need to stagger your initiation there. You kind of need to expect that arena to cut you off. It can be hard because you want to just front load your damage, right? You want to instantly burst the TA, but I think at this point you might have to actually stagger your damage instead, not by choice but by necessity.
Still very difficult times here, John. They've caught out another. Mizu being caught here by Tims. Great setup with the Brambles and Yule Scepter.
What a hell of a team, Jackson.
I'd hate to make matters worse here for NGX, John, but you've got an Orchid up now in your Yopaj, which does indicate we are probably going to see a Bloodthorn. And there's going to be even more problems for NGX. I believe the only BKB coming out right now is going to be on Mizu. Alacrity has one queued up. And in your Dream, in the meantime, of course, is relying on the Rage, but assuming he does, of course, get silenced up with that Orchid, there are going to be problems for this Lifestealer.
Yeah, it becomes really awkward for the Lifestealer to deal with silences. Your supports don't really have saving spells to kind of dispel it off, and that is going to cause some issues in commitment. Still, they're going to go for the Infest play on Alacrity. Maybe they can get a good jump forward here.
But they can't go, because the Beng's always frontlining for the team, and they know it's always bait. They've got to wrap around. They cannot go for the Enchantress, but they do find Tims out. Under vision, they'll secure one. Maybe now they could get a Beng. In fact, they'll make the jump in with Alacrity and try a Beng. He is eventually going to drop. Finger was enough, and in the meantime, FBZ's jumped in with XctN. They'll go on to Pollison in your Dream. He's going to TP out and be just fine, but I can't say the same for Alacrity. 2 buybacks, boom. They should at least get a mid-tier 2 tower. Maybe even a tier 3 into a Roshan out of this.
Yeah, they can definitely force if they want to. Without the Void Spirit for half a minute, that's enough of a window for the physical output of both the TA and the Razor to rip through this objective. And there's not much NGX can do to save. They just don't have amazing team fight without that Void Spirit initiation.
Well, they'll commit one buyback onto Pollison, but they still lack the Void Spirit as Yopaj now getting jump, but he has the BKB up and a great Terrorize, just going to send everyone flying backwards to XctN. He'll just keep going onto Jokam, stealing 200 damage away on this Razor, and a great spear from FBZ right on the tail end of that BKB, taking down Mizu. And he has no buyback, which means it should be one lane of barracks secured. As in your Dream, he's going to try and fight FBC, but he's doing no damage. He is doing literally no damage. Alacrity, though, is going to come in and try and help out, but FBZ has not flinched yet. A nice Earth Spike, but they've got the Void Spirit again. Alacrity, he is gone. In your Dream now needs to run, but XctN has got him. Jokam, he'll get infested, but XctN, he wants to go for the chase. Instead, they'll try onto Pollison, and that'll be a dieback on our Snapfire. It's a 2v5 scenario, and you know what that means, John. We're going for a secondary Rax here on Boom.
Yeah, they know there's no kisses, even with the Snapfire responding. That will line up for the kisses, but without that hero, your team fight's limited. You could still try to play with a Void Spirit, jumping in with the AoE silence, but the follow-up damage just isn't there. Lifestealer can't stand up get the hits off. They do have the infest up. Chocam's got the blink. They could try, but the racks are already gone. And boom, there should be a prime opportunity now to go for Roshan. Roshan number 2, free ag short with the Aegis. They're going to be able to perhaps just give that to Yopaj if they want to. The Scion Trap Silence is just incredibly hard to play against. And we already talked about the effect that has in the Life Stealer with the Blood Torn up on Yopaj. Now, just with the Psionic Traps, you might never find a window to actually pop your Rage here.
Oh, absolutely not. It's going to be very, very difficult times. And it's not only him, John. Alacrity, he still hasn't got his own BKB. He's nowhere near having that BKB, in fact. The only person that does have one on NGX is Mizu. And he hasn't really been a problem to deal with as FBZ continues to be able to catch him off with this Mars.
Radiant are scanning.
In we go again, in your dream. This is one man you don't want to lose. He hasn't reacted yet though. XctN with a double damage rune, wants to try and rush in. Earth spikes off the mark. In your dream, he's going to try and force the fight with the Hex out in the arena. FBC's there, and he catches 4 heroes. That'll allow XctN to get himself out and now turn right back around. Onto Mizu, they'll get 1, they'll get 3 of them. Buyback committed by their line, but what does it matter? GG's called, Poles, and he has seen enough. I've seen enough, John. Just complete domination from Boone as Chocam. He's still fighting. He didn't hear the GG call.
Yeah, they try their best there in NGX. They come out with a different sort of draft. They go back for the Alacrity special. We know he loves his Void Spirit no matter what matchup. The guy just loves playing that hero. But I think this time around, Boom, on paper, I think they really just outdrafted NGX here. The execution from NGX, maybe they missed out on some mid-rotations. Maybe they didn't emphasize the bottle refills as much, the water runes as much, the early power runes as much. But I think in the end, it's just the core-to-core matchups. Like, you had the TA win condition from Boom. You were killing off CTM, which was nice. But the Razor wasn't your big issue. Your issue was Yopaj free-farming the Blink, free-farming the Desolator into the BKB. And once that BKB was up, they just had no hold for him. Like, you had nothing to pierce through BKB. You had no physical damage outside of your Life Stealer, and even then, his physical output is not burst. It's sustained damage in a prolonged fight, which is not ideal against something like the TA. So I think NGX will have to go back to the drawing board, look at their draft, fix them for the holes they had. Boom, they look good. And again, historically, they have kind of beat out NGX very decisively, especially in the Pro Series 8. We'll see if that will hold up in game number 2.
We shall. We're going to go to a 10-minute break, and right after that break, we'll be back with game number 2 between Boom Esports and NGX.